So Claude Design just dropped, and not only can you use it to make really cool websites, but you can also use it to make content that looks incredibly good. So if we head over to Claude Design at claude.ai/design, we can leverage the brand new Opus 4.7 model to create these awesome motion graphics for your Instagram Reels or YouTube videos or whatever you're making. And the nice thing about this is that you can actually create as many design systems as you'd like. So if it's videos for yourself or you're making videos for your client, you can just have one design system per client and never have to change it. I'm just going to come over to create, and I'm going to make one right now. So I just said I have an educational YouTube channel about AI automation. I like to use very simple, clean, animated graphics that communicate my talking points visually in a way that help the viewer to understand better. And then if we scroll down here, we can actually link our code on GitHub. So whether that's our Claude MD file, and again, if you don't know what a Claude MD file is essentially all of your brand guidelines, or essentially every piece of information that's important about your brand in a single file. So that's going to dictate things like what color schemes it uses, the terminology, or maybe your brand voice. And down here, which is extremely important because we are making videos, we can add fonts, logos, and assets. And included in those assets are, if we did something like this and we just searched up freepik.com and then we're looking up something like an arrow, right? Because a lot of the videos that we're going to be making are going to have arrows pointing to things. We can just go in here, download these as assets. So for example, we'll just download this one. You want to make sure this is switched to free so that it doesn't show a watermark. And then let's just say we'll download this one. Then we can just drag that image right here. And then you can just continue to add whatever branding, logos, or for example, something you might be talking about. So like I went and found some different icons that I could upload, any images or anything that you would see as being like a recurring thing that would come up in the videos. You don't have to do this because we'll always be able to change things. And then down here, we can fill in the gap with any other notes that we might have. So I'm just going to say we use primarily black, blue, and white. I really like a carbon fiber background. I think that's really cool if we can incorporate that in the motion graphics, but just give me a clean, sleek, modern style that really communicates professionalism. Okay, and then once you've done that, we can click continue to generation. And now it says it'll take about 5 minutes to generate the design system. So we'll click generate. And for the information that I've given it, I haven't really given it much. I didn't give it any kind of design guideline file or anything to really guide it. All I did was I just gave it a simple prompt and then some logos and some images to use. And the design system doesn't just apply to the videos. It also applies to if I wanted to build a website, right? Or a guide or a landing page. Anything I want to have it build, it'll build these beautiful websites and presentations based on the guidelines that we just gave it. Now with Claude Code Design, what you might find is you'll hit your limit and then it'll stop you. But there's a little workaround where basically anything that you're doing within Claude Design can also be done in Claude Code. So what we do is we instruct Claude Code to essentially just take that same design system and do something with it. So I'm just going to say, I want you to codify this entire design system. I want it to be very professional, simple, clean, using any front-end design skills that I may have given you in the past. I'm going to give you some elements and logos to include in that. And I want you to use that to create a really simple 10 to 15 second animation based on whatever I tell you. But the first thing we need you to do is to actually confirm that we have the brand design system. Now, what we can do is if we've already created this design system, for example, like this one that we just created, I can literally just click on share and then we'll come down here to download project as zip. And now that that's downloaded, we'll just click on it to open it. And now in Claude Code, all you do is select that folder and then we can just import and then we'll click enter. And now it's adding my entire design system and it does normally add the logos, but I just added the wrong one. So for the sake of time, I just added them again. Now what you'll see is it automatically reads and understands because it's Claude Code. It's freaking awesome. It understands that this is the OpenAI logo, Claude, N8N. It fully understands what it's looking at as well. So you can just drag images in and you won't even really need to tell it what you're adding. Just say like, hey, add this, and you can just drag elements in. So you can do that with any kind of design system that you'd like. Just drop it in and ask it to use the design style. And then you're going to give it a prompt like this. I want you to create me an animated video. I'm going to be speaking, and throughout the video, I want motion graphics. I'm going to give you the entire script, and then I want you to read the script and then think about the plan of action and then give it to me to confirm, and then I'll confirm it. The style that I'm going for is the same one that I just uploaded in the image that I just uploaded. And I want you to use that along with my design system to create a very clean, modern experience for the viewer. And what you can also do is go and grab an article and we can copy this link. Now you can use any article that you want to, but you come back over to Claude and you can say something like, I want you to read this article, take the main concepts, take any images that you need to, and I want you to create one short form video. I want one that's just the concept of what you think would be best, and then I want the other one to be entirely animated. And then just give me both of them so I can decide which one I want, and then we'll just paste that in. And like I said, because we're using Claude Code, we can just very simply send it the link, and it'll be able to go pull the pictures and concepts and everything that it needs in order to go and create it. We don't need to be, we're not restricted to the limitations of just using Claude Design. Because the thing about Claude Design and a lot of these new features they're coming out with is the actual big iceberg at the bottom, the whole foundation that's holding it up is just Claude Code. Okay, and here's the example that it gave us. So it says inevitable. That's they want you to think about AI in schools. And then it gives us the percentages. Okay, that was really cool. AI integration may have inadvertently contributed to cognitive atrophy. Okay, so it has all these different elements. The question is not whether AI belongs in school, but how to use it responsibly. Okay, I really like this. This is a great start. I really like that. So now let's ask it to create a skill so that we can actually replicate that over and over again. So I'm just going to say, I really like the animated version. Can you create me a skill with that exact same design style or system? And of course, if there's specific things, we just one-shotted that. But if there's specific things in this video that you didn't like or different things that you wanted to change or add, then we can do that as well. Just do that until you find something that works for you. And then the greatest thing is, and then we can save it as a skill so we can use it again. And it'll also give you the script as well, which is timed accurately with the animations, which I thought was awesome. Now, creating these elements and graphics is one thing, but what if we wanted to edit the video, add captions, add different graphics? Well, there's this new repo called Hyperframes that just came out. Now, if you've ever used AI video editing software, you're probably thinking right now, this sounds great, but the results really haven't been that good. And you're completely right. But the underlying problem is actually how you're using it and the tasks that you're trying to have it complete. So Hyperframes was actually built by HeyGen, which is the AI avatar software. You've probably seen it where you can essentially upload a video of yourself and you can clone your voice. You can create an AI clone of you, which I have a video coming out very soon on that. But what Hyperframes actually does, it takes care of motion graphics, so things like captions, transitions, lower thirds, charts, UI mockups, and it's built with HTML and CSS, which means that we can render things locally on our computer, and it's open source and free. And the best thing about this is that it talks directly to Claude Code. So all we have to do is just drop in our project and it'll talk directly to Claude Code. So just like we created a video with a simple prompt, we can just send a couple sentences and have this entire thing built out. So in Claude Design, where we're just creating graphics and motion graphics and full videos on their own, in this case, we already have the video built. Hyperframes is how we're taking a normal video and then we're adding those AI generated elements to it. Right? So like captions, transitions, lower thirds, charts, UI mockups, and it's built with HTML and CSS. What does that mean? It renders locally on your computer and it's free and open source. So everything is going to run straight on your computer. And it also talks to Claude Code. So think about the levels to this, right? Like I said, in Claude Design, we just built the graphics. Now we can actually implement them in real videos with captions and everything else that we need. And it's also talking to Claude Code. So see how this is how we'll be able to programmatically edit our videos in autopilot. What Hyperframes is good at, things like talking head overlays, code walkthroughs, video tweaks and promos, and the best of all, in my opinion, is the motion graphics synced to speech, which is essentially replacing a video editor. This used to be very difficult to do, but now as I'm speaking, we can just pop up motion graphics and they'll already be completely in sync. Now, what it's not so good at, of course, it can't fully replace your video editor, and it's also not great with like multi-tracks, but this is still fantastic progress. So let's actually build it. So I think it's best if I actually show you an example. And this is the Hyperframes GitHub repo. So click on code, hit the little drop down and copy that. Now let's go back over to Claude Code and create a brand new session. And if you haven't seen my video on how to actually manage your credits in Claude Code, I highly recommend you go watch that. It's great practice to create new sessions because it helps to keep our context window down so that it's not going through so much information. And this way we're starting fresh. And I'm going to switch my model here to Opus 4.7. And the reason why I do that is because it takes a lot of tokens. Like it's very expensive. So the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to give it kind of like the skeleton, the bare bones, the actual structure of what we're doing, right? The main important part. I view it like the CEO, right? It's going to give us the plan and the strategy and the structure in the very beginning to make sure that we're kind of sent off in the right direction. But then for the editing afterwards, you want to just use something like Sonnet 4.6 because then it doesn't take so many credits. And Sonnet is way more than enough for like 99% of tasks. So now that we've copied that GitHub repo, I'm just going to send Claude Code a simple message. So I'm just going to say, hey, this is a GitHub repo. I would like you to download this and then give me a quick few bullet points, just walking me through the step-by-step of what this is, maybe how to get it set up, and what the best use cases might be. And I'm just doing that, again, as best practice. Anytime I'm importing something into Claude Code, I kind of want to get a good idea for its plan. That also helps me to save on tokens, because if it tells me that it's planning on building out this entire thing that I just said is not necessary, that'll help me to prevent, my credit card getting absolutely rinsed. Okay, so now that it's edited, let's actually try it on a sample video. Okay, and now that it's done downloading, we're going to use this video to test. Hey guys, this is a sample video. Let's just talk about numbers and a lot of analytics and a lot of really smart stuff. So now let's go to Claude Code and actually test it. So I'm just gonna send a message and say, I have a video in my downloads called example vid. I'd like you to take it. Hey, I have a video in my downloads folder titled example vid. I'd like you to take that and actually create 3 separate videos, 3 different edits of that same video to really show me the full capabilities of what you can do. Okay, and we'll send that off. Now, as this is loading, it's important to mention for anybody who's done any editing before, this is not going to be 4K. These videos will output in 1080p, which isn't a massive deal, but it's definitely not going to be like crisp quality. However, in my opinion, it's still much better than having just me sitting here speaking to the camera. And if you have it edit parts of the video for you where it's showing different things and not necessarily showing your face the entire time, or maybe you have yourself in 4K for the whole video, and then just in those specific parts where you want there to be cool animations, you can have it in just those sections. Okay, and let's take a look. Hey guys, this is a sample video. Let's just talk about numbers and a lot of analytics and a lot of really smart stuff. Okay, so we have that one. Then we have, hey guys, this is a sample video. Let's just talk about numbers and a lot of analytics and a lot of really smart stuff. Okay, so just like a border. That's pretty cool. Hey guys, this is a sample video. Let's just talk about numbers and a lot of analytics and a lot of really smart stuff. Okay, yeah, so that's where we could easily have it give us captions or add more effects. And all we have to do, it just looks like this. You just come over here to the left, and then we can see all the different files that we're referring to. We have our compositions, and then we can also add different assets and then communicate to Claude Code with how we want to change the video. So that's it for the video. If you guys are interested in automating your content, leads, and ads, and actually diving a little bit deeper into how to make better videos than this, I'll leave the link to my paid community down in the description. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.